Hello, my name is Brianna Escalona, and I know that all of us have experienced those presentation jitters before. In fact, I'm kind of experiencing them right now. But hopefully, being students of the architecture presentation skills class, we'll be able to improve our presentations and get better over time. So, one of the presentations I actually want to look at today is by Mark Kushner, who made a TED Talk about why we are so important in the design of architecture. And his presentation was very effective because he utilizes many different presentation elements, such as using attention-grabbing tools, as well as supporting facts and examples and visual aids. So now we'll go into how Kushner keeps his audience focused. So one of the things that Kushner uses is captivating elements. As soon as the presentation started, he presented with a personal anecdote of his childhood home and the emotions that he felt behind it. I felt like this was a very good attention grabber. It let the audience get to know Kushner a little bit better, and he got to connect with them in a way. And another viewpoint is that Kushner intertwines humor within his speech, and this kind of keeps the audience entertained and focused. One example that he uses is he mentions Olive Garden and presents a picture along with a joke about breadsticks. This is when the audience is starting to kind of drone off a little bit. They're quickly woken back up with a little bit of humor, and their focus is back on the subject at hand. Now that their attention is grabbed and they're focused, they need to believe what he's saying a little bit more. So I believe that Kushner uses facts and examples to establish his credibility as well as his believability. So the one thing that he uses is statistics, such as that Americans spend 90% of their time indoors. This statistic is not only shocking, but it helps the audience believe what he's saying a little bit better, especially since that he's citing it from the EPA. Another thing that he uses is a personal anecdote from when he worked at a firm as an architect, or his own firm as an architect. He explains how he had to redesign a building that burned down and that he used media to get the community's input on it. And I believe that the use of this personal anecdote helps establish his credibility and makes his presentation better in the end. The speaker also uses visual aids as support for as support for his topics, and they make them easier to understand. So one of the visual aids that he uses is a pendulum that kind of oscillates back and forth between symbols and innovation. And this is really helps to illustrate his idea and lets the audience kind of understand it a little bit more. Another visual aid that he uses is pictures of the buildings that he talks about to kind of help illustrate his ideas. The one thing that popped up to me was the Livingston Public Library building, as well as the Seattle building, or the Seattle library that was built in the same year. He makes a really nice contrast between those two, and having the visual aids for that really helped illustrate his idea and emphasize what he was trying to say. So now with visual aids, he was able to illustrate his topics more effectively and make them easier to understand. And overall, he gives a pretty effective presentation by using attention-grabbing devices, support and examples to establish his credibility, as well as some visual aids to help embellish the presentation. So hopefully we can all learn from his TED Talk presentation and incorporate some of his own elements into our own. Thank you very much.